So, hello everyone. Thank you so much for joining me here. My name is Dima Zaida Al-Kilani. I'm a program manager at the Mobile Center team. And I'm here to introduce you about to the Mobile Center, Visual Studio Mobile Center, and show you why it is the go-to tool for your mobile development. Show of hands, how many of you are mobile developers or you directly work with mobile developers in your work? Great, looking forward to the Q&A. So, every developer aims for two things. One, developing an app that won't crash on every iOS, Android, or Windows update, and being able to develop a 5-star application that is a top downloaded in their own category. Well, we all know that's not an easy task to do. You want to make sure you have a high-quality application, high velocity, quick turnaround to any updates or customer feedback. You want to understand your users, understand how they're using your application, whether your app is crashing, how is it doing, and of course, you want to respond quickly to any operating system update and any API changes. And of course, you want to do what you do best, which is spend time coding. But we all know that can get very complicated with all the time spent ensuring your app is a high-quality app, and between having to test your application on hundreds of devices and making sure you can get access to beta testers before it's too late and it's in production already. Well, this is where I'm going to introduce you to the Mobile Center, which is a service that's been out for nearly a year in preview. And our goal in Mobile Center is actually to make your life easier, make it easier for you to keep iterating on your app, and ensure that we increase as much as we can your productivity so you can focus on building awesome apps. So getting started with Mobile Center is really, really simple. All you need to do is go to mobile.azure.com. You can sign up for free with your GitHub, Microsoft, Facebook, or Google account. Or if you don't have enough accounts, you can create a new one with a Mobile Center ID. So what I have here is the Mobile Center website. As you can see, it's literally a one-stop shop where it gives you access to all the amazing development services that we provide. So I'm going to go to my demo app. And these 6 services are mainly what we'll be covering today. We have build, enables you build continuous deployment and integration system. Test, to enable you to test on real-world devices with access to 1,000 real devices that you can test your app on. Distribution, so you can distribute your application to beta testers or alpha testers or even company stores. And then once you have your app ready, uploaded and pushed to your users, we want to make sure that you have a look into how your app is doing. If you have any crashes, what are the reasons? And analytics, how your app is doing, how your users are using it. And of course, we want you to stay engaged with your audience and push notification for campaigns and targeted audience based on your analytics. So let's dive into the first service here, which is build. So what we have here is a build system that's integrated with your repository in VSTS. So to show you how simple it is to get started with this, I'm going to create a new app from scratch and call it xweather2. Make it an Android Xamarin app. So as you can see, you can create whether it's a native application or a Xamarin application. We provide the options for you to get started, or a Windows WP. So in this scenario, I'm going to do an Android Xamarin app, and I'm going to add it. Then I'm going to go to the build service, and you can see I can select whichever service I want. Whether my code repository lives in VSTS, in GitHub, or Bitbucket, I have the option to do so. And based on my identity that I'm signed in with, it's going to look for all the projects that I have access to. So in this case, I have my xweather repository, and I'm going to click. And what's going to do right now, it's actually going to sync to my repository, get all information about my project, my solution, what build configuration do I have, and eventually showing it up to me, including all the branches that I have. So it will stay up to date with the branches, with the commits that anyone have made, and who did the last commit. So I know who to blame in case anything goes wrong. So you can see here I have my different branches. For example, We know that in the X-Weather application, we do a weekly build. So what I want to do is I want to go to the master branch and kick off a weekly build based on top of it. So I click on the branch, I click on configure build, and you can see now it sees everything about my application. It knew what project it was, it knew what configuration I have it on, what mono version I'm using, and it's giving me the ability to even upload custom build scripts if all these steps were not enough for me. And then this is my favorite part, which is the build frequency. So it doesn't only tell me that I can do a on manual click, that I can run my build, I can do it on every push to my branch. So you can imagine in my scenario for my weekly update, I can say that I know that my team, they check in their code on Thursday afternoon. So on Friday morning, I want to have an output of my build, a full package that has been signed, tested on a real device, and I want it to be distributed to my beta testers. So you can imagine you wake up in the morning, you go to your email, and you will get a notification that there's a new version available to download, and you can, with one click, download it on your phone and test what last week's code has been. Another thing is test on real device. So at the end of every build, we give you the ability to launch a test to show you what your app looks like on all the different devices that we provide, which I'll be talking more when I go to the test service. So now I can click Save and Build, which I'll be doing is kicking off a new build. And it's going to take a few minutes, 7 or 12 to be exact. So I'm going to go back to it in the demo when we talk more about the integration. The next service we have is Test. Anyone familiar with the Xamarin Test Cloud? Okay, great. This is Xamarin Test Cloud. We've brought it into Mobile Center, so you can go and start using it in your application. So it's really easy to get started with. All you need to do is create a new test run. You can select off the 1,200 devices, the real devices that we provide. Half of them are iOS, the other half is Android. So you can choose whatever device you want to test. So let's say I know that my application targets iPad Pro user. So I can select all 12 devices and select, and then I can create a new test series, so I can go back to it later. And then I can choose what is my test framework. We support a variety of test framework, so I can choose Xamarin UI Test in this case, my system language, and then it gives me a script that I can run on my machine where I have my test directory, and it'll upload the results right into the Mobile Center. So let's say I created it, and now I want to go back and see it. So here I have my test run, and on September 14th, we ran a test where we had 3 tests, where we were testing the sign-in flow for the Contoso Air app. So I can click on each step, and it will show me how that step looked like on all the devices that I've configured. So you don't have to buy all these devices. They are being tested on actually real devices, so it's not virtualization. And you can see how every step of your test was the memory and CPU consumption. So if you see anything that you don't like and you don't want your customers to run into, you can make sure and go back to it. You can take a look at your logs, and in case if you have any errors, you can see the call stack all right into here in this view. So you can go through it step by step and see exactly how it looks like on your screen. And then once it's done, you can see the full report. And also what I mentioned was the launch test, which is a simple click to show you how your app is run. The third service that I want to talk about is distribution. So let's say you've built the app, you're happy with the results, you've tested it, so on all those real devices that we provide, but now you want it to be tested with a bunch of people. You have a few people on your team, from your dev team, who must download every weekly build or even daily build, so you can create a beta group. And then you have people who you want them to test on a weekly basis, so you can create a different group. And then you can create a collaborators, which are the end result, the end customers from your team, the bigger team, the company that you want to add and have them test your device maybe every month so they can provide you feedback. So you can choose whatever distribution group you want this to be targeted against, or you can create a new distribution group and invite more people to participate in this. And you can allow public access, so you don't need to sign into Mobile Center, and you can provide the link to anyone who you can send the email to. So this is really nicely integrated with the build system, where, as I mentioned, you can configure the master branch, for example, to be the one that you do on a monthly basis and send that for collaborators, for people outside your team, or even outside your company to give your app a try. Now that you've tested it with beta testers, your alpha testers, you want to push it to the official stores. So we have integration with both iTunes and Google Play, and also your company portal, Intune. So you can publish it right from the Mobile Center and distribute it after every build and make sure it gets to your customers. And here you can keep track of every release you have. One thing I forgot to mention is in build, it gives you the opportunity to configure it to increase the build number on every build. So that way you can make sure that every build you do, there's a new version number. That way, when you look at crashes, you will see how important the version number of the build is, so that you can fix it in the right branch and have someone take a look at it, and of course know who to blame when the problem is there. So now we go to phase 2 of your production application. Your app has been shipped. You're happy with it, you think it's doing fine, but you want to know, is it really doing fine? So you can go to crashes, and it's really simple to get started. All you have to do, you click on the Getting Started tab, or you go to our documentation, and you download the NuGet packages in this case, because it's a Xamarin application, and then you reference it and call it from your application. So here what we have is my app secret, or my app secret. So what it does is it will be running in my application and will be stamping every event that I'm sending from my application with this ID, so that when I look at the crashes, I'm only looking at my application. So we use it for both analytics, crashes, and push notification. So you only have to add this SDK and reference it from your code, including adding the app ID, and then you get all the capturing of unhandled exceptions out of the box. You don't have to add anything. We will take care of capturing if anytime your app crashes. So what you can see here is on the top part is my analytics about my crashes. So number 1, which is the crash-free users per day. So how many users I had that did not have any issues with my application. So I'm doing really well at 98.8%. And then how many crashes per day? This shows me that I had a spike on one day, which looking at the date, it might be a problem maybe with iOS 11 in this case. And then I can take a look more into it and then understand the crash groups. So if you're an iOS developer, you know how hard it is to look into your crashes and then use the unsymbolicated crashes and call stacks. You need symbols to allow you to understand how really your call stack is, what is your file name, what is your line number. So we provide you the ability to upload your symbols, and then you can see all this cool call stack along with the full path for your file name and line number. So you know exactly where the problem happened, where the exception was caught, and then even more, you can dig deeper into every report and see the threads, and if you had multiple threads going on, where and when the crash happened. You can see if you want to add custom events, so you know what led into the crash. For example, if you capture every button click and every screen view, you will know how you can reproduce that crash and understand how the user got themselves into that crash, and then you can reproduce it using all the information we provide here from the device ID and the language. You can reproduce it on your own phone. Another cool thing we provide is to tell you if the device was jailbroken or not, so you can look into it differently for the crash. You can also download it as JSON and text, so you can take a look at it in the future or share it offline with your team. You can also add annotations so other people can take a look at it, or you can say, I'm looking at this, so other people can dismiss it. One last thing is the states of your crash group, so that if you're done looking at it, you can close it, so it makes it easier for you and your team to triage newly coming crash groups, or you can ignore it if it's an old version that that you've deprecated and no longer support. And of course, you can see most affected devices and operating system, so you know where to start if you want to fix it, or if it's something you no longer support, you can as well ignore it. Now, going to analytics, Also, still, we're in the mobile center. So the second part of not just being pessimistic that your app is crashing, you want to know how many users you have and how people are using it and whether they're loving it and they're using the feature you're providing. So you can see how many users you have, what's the trend has been. You can see the top devices for all your app usage, and you can see the languages and which countries they're coming from. And finally, you can see the active devices per version. So it provides you with the percentage to see how your app adoption has been. The next tab is events. So let's say you want to create a custom event on every button click or every screen, or for example, if it's a game, every time the user proceeds to a different level. So you can see how many times that event is being captured, but it's not only a string. You can also attach a key value pair. So for example, if the user is playing a game and they die in the game, and then you want to see what level they were on. So you can easily attach those key value pairs to your user. You can also see how many times they've finished the game so far, or any information you want to gather about your user, or maybe user ID session so you can use it in the future. And the last one is log flow. This is really good. This actually gives you confidence that you're actually sending analytics to us. So reports take some time to aggregate. So what we want to give you here is the confidence that the minute you're running your application, that you are streaming this data. It's not going to be really human readable. It's going to be the raw format of the data your app is sending, but at least it gives you that confidence that your app is finally sending data, and you can wait a few minutes until you see the reports. Finally, we have the push notification, which allows you to get more engagement with your users. So let's say you want to have like a summer campaign, or for example, target users in a specific country. So what you can do is first create a new audience, and then you add a rule of how you want your targeted audience to be. Of course, you can target everyone, but we all know that's not always a smart idea. So you can say that you want only to target people who are using, let's say, T-Mobile. And then this computing tells you how many people you're going to be targeting. So based on the analytics data that we collect, we tell you how efficient this campaign is going to be versus not efficient. So you can choose any of the out-of-the-box analytics data, like country, like language, like device model, or you can choose the custom events that you've added to your application here, so you can target people more efficiently. One more thing, if you want to understand more about the documentation, about all these services, you can click on your username and click on Docs APIs. It will take you to our documentation page, and it will go into details for every platform, for every service that we have. So what you've seen here, I'm sure a lot of you are familiar with the different services that we've built over the years, but we've put them all into one place, whether it's Hockey App, Xamarin Cloud, Xamarin Insights, Code Push, and Push Notification. We've all put them in one place to make it even more convenient for you to get started and make sure that your life cycle and DevOps cycle is even faster, and you can have it all in one place. So with Visual Studio Mobile Center, I started with saying we want to help you build 5-star apps, but that's not all about it. We want to make sure that we can help you make everything continuous. Deployment, integration, testing, distribution, have it all continuous for you, so you can worry on just building a great application for your users. And we also want to make sure that we retain the flexibility and choice of your own. So we provide cross-platform support. You've seen that for iOS, Android, it's both native and managed languages. We support Windows, and a lot of other platforms are coming. We're either working on it or it's coming on our roadmap soon. And if you have a platform that you know you're working on and you love and you want to use it in Mobile Center, let us know, and we'll be happy to add it in the near future. The other part of being extensible, it's not just about the SDKs that we have that you can use them for anything. We have a rule at the Mobile Center that API first. So everything you've seen in the UI is actually run on public APIs. So we have more than 200 APIs publicly documented that you can leverage to build your own solution or even run your own scripts against the mobile center. So you can even have more powerful solution that is tailored to your team and to your organization and not just limited to the UI we have. You've seen that we have post-clone, pre-build, and post-build scripts. So if you want to add more steps to your build integration system, you can add that right from the mobile center. And also, we have command line interface support for all services that you just have to download, and you can use all our services right from your machine. And finally, the VSTS integration. So the mobile center, we wanted to bring new power to the tools that you already love and you've been using in your day-to-day cases, whether it's the repository, your build system, and also bug tracking. So how many of you are VSTS users? Okay, great. So I wanted to dive deeper into a few demos of how we integrate with the Visual Studio Team Services. So the first part of the demo was the build integration with the application that I just added. You've seen how easy it was to just with few clicks that I've integrated with my repository. And you have to make sure, if you have a VSTS repository, make sure you try that and let us know what do you think. It should be easy, it picks up all your configuration and you can get started. What's even more powerful, it shows you the commit ID of the branch. So let's say the build was broken and you didn't get the distribution, so you can click on the commit ID and it will take you right into your code in VSTS and shows you what the commit was, who did it, and why they did it. So you can dig deeper into it and hopefully fix any issues with it. Also, going back, you can, after every build, you can do the launch test. You can click on it, and it shows you that your app actually launched, and you can see how your app looked like, what was your memory and CPU consumption, all from the build integration. And then, of course, it shows you the duration, and it shows you all the build output. What I didn't mention was the mobile center build integration is actually built on top of the VSTS build system. So whatever you can do in mobile center, you can actually do in VSTS. So I'm going back here to my weather application, and this is my repository. And what I did is I went to build and release and created a new build. So you can see here that one of the steps that you can add is actually a mobile center integration. So one of the steps you can say that you want to run the UI tests right from the VSTS. So if you already have a build system that you spend time configuring on VSTS, you can go back to it and create a new step and just type mobile center and you will see it there for both distribution and the testing step. So you can see it, it's really similar to the UI we've shown you in the mobile center. All you need to do is provide us where your test directory, UI test directory is, and what's your device ID configuration, which you will do in mobile center, and you can paste it in here and get all the great value you get out of the test service. Also, you can deploy to mobile center. So within only a few clicks, you can add what is your connection and where do you want it to be deployed, and of course, what is the distribution group that you want it to connect it to. We have one more point of integration that we actually have not shipped yet. It should be coming soon, but it's the bug tracker integration. So we know that how we've provided the annotation on every crash group, but we want to give you more ability, more to collaborate on the bugs, to understand, make it show in your backlog so you can prioritize it in your team and ensure that you can prioritize it accordingly and work on it. And then you can, once it's done, you can close it and make sure it's closed and got sign off from everyone on the team. So the way you can do that is going to your application. So here I'm going to go to Contoso iOS, and then I'm going to go to my settings. And you can see here there's a tab that is called Services. I'm going to click on it, and you can see that there's a bug tracker integration here. So what I can do is I can add a new account or service. For now, we support only VSTS. More integration is coming soon. So you can click on it, And then you can choose what is the VSTS project that you want the bug to be added to. And then you can choose what do you want the default text to be in it, and then we take care of the rest. We will add more information about it. We will add how many times occurrences it happened. And what's really cool is that we will add we will make sure the status is synced between your bug and the crash group. So let's say you've worked on the bug and you've finished it, you've fixed it, you've tested it, and you're happy with it. You will close your bug, and then you go back to the crash group in Mobile Center. It will be closed as well, like the status that I've showed you. So you don't have to worry about making sure both are up to sync. You can just do it from either the bug tracker or from the Mobile Center. So you can just add it, and then now we will automatically create a ticket every time there's a new crash group. So what's more we're going to add to the bug tracker integration is manual creation. So you can decide, instead of having it automatically, you can decide that you want to create it on your own pace, or you can create a threshold in the future that only if this crash group has more than 100 instances, create a bug for me, and so I can take a look at it. So if you have any feedback or questions about Mobile Center, before going back to the slides, I wanted to show you this cool blue button in the bottom right corner, which is an intercom integration. We actually have all the engineering and product management team on the other side. So if you have feedback, suggestions, or issues that you're running into, rest assured that it will be targeted by the actual people who are building the product. So these names are people that I work with. They're from the team. So you can send feedback, send issues or anything, and we will be able to, we will be happy to help you, onboard you, or help you with any issues you have. So this is how we feel that the Mobile Center and Visual Studio Team Services, we want to make sure that you have a faster DevOps cycle. We want to make sure that you're focusing on what matters the most, and that that we're working always, that both of us, the team together, to make sure that we have the life cycle connected and without having to disconnect between the two systems. You've seen how easy it was to see my code changes right from the commit ID, right from the Mobile Center. So you can imagine how much that will make developers' life easier and connected to make sure that they're focusing on what matters. As I said, you can get started for free with the Mobile Center by going to this kind of shortened link, which is aka.ms/Mobile Center, and you can get started and let us know what you think. We will be at the Expo Hall under the DevOps part. Let us know if you have any questions, if you've tried it out and you want to give us feedback. And also make sure that you've used the intercom. I'm telling you, you can use it for any questions you have, for any feedback that you want to send us. We're still in preview, so we're iterating on everything really quick. You have no idea how many features we're adding on a daily basis and weekly. So make sure that you send us feedback, and we'll be happy to integrate any of this into the product. So I'm going to open it now to Q&A. If you have any questions on Mobile Center, I'll be happy to answer. And as I said, me and two of my colleagues will be at the Expo Hall, at the booth. If you have any question, you want to dive deeper on different services or platforms that we haven't covered, make sure to stop by and say hi and ask questions. Hello. The question is, when do we plan to get out of preview, and why is the login experience different than everything in Azure? So going out of preview is, the plan is before the end of this year, so it's going to be in the next few months. Why it's different than everything in Azure? It's actually not an Azure service. I know the name, in the name it says mobile.azure.com, but it's actually a standalone service that is outside of Azure. Of course, we use Azure in the backend, just any Microsoft service, but it's a standalone service that you can use from outside of Azure. Any more questions? Oh, sorry.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
Could you please share some insights on timelines on Universal Windows Platform? Because I looked at the services from a UVP perspective now during the session, and a lot of stuff was missing, like crashes, the bug tracker, the services, all of those were missing from UVP. It would be good to have UVP as a first-class citizen as well.
Okay, so the question was, the mic was on, I don't have to repeat it, about UWP. So the bug tracker is still not out for anything yet. You can only see it on my machine because I have the feature flag on. But for crashes, for example, we have a beta program. So if you can, we can connect after this session, and I can onboard you to that so you can provide us even early feedback on that. So we're still working on it. Yeah, you're welcome.
So I had a question.
There you go.
Hi. So we're using VSTS today, and so that we're using the license model that comes with VSTS. So how does this license, and is this a different cost or additional cost?
So as I said, we're still in preview, so it's not publicly yet. But what I can say is that we will have a free tier. It'll be a really generous free tier. The build system integration, if you want to pay more, it'll be really, really similar to the VSTS build system. So you know how you can buy hosted builds and concurrency?
Yeah.
It'll be really similar to that. In the future, we're looking into having maybe a shared licensing between us and VSTS, so you can leverage both.
That's
But
what,
this
that's
is
what
still,
I was looking for.
Yeah,
See if it
this
was,
is still post our general availability. It won't be in the next few months, though.
Okay, because we also were told about like an enterprise level offering that's going to be put in place on top of VSTS.
Do you, like a enterprise agreement? Or?
Well, no, because like right now each of the VSTS instances are separate, and so there's going to be from an Azure AD, I guess, perspective and control of the licenses. There'll be like an enterprise-wide that would sit on top of all of the VSTS instances.
It will make your life simple, I guess.
Yeah, I'm just assuming. I just want to know if that's on the roadmap for this
Yeah,
as well.
it'll be really similar to what you use for VSTS
Okay.
today.
All right.
Yeah, thank you. Any more questions?
Hello?
Yeah.
Does Mobile Center have any support for so like a third-party app from a supplier where you don't actually have the code base, they just deliver you like a build? Would Mobile Center have any support for that, where instead of just building it, you just plop in an IPA or APK and then you can use the rest of the services?
Yes, so the distribution service, I can quickly show it. You can actually not only do it from the build output, but you can actually do a manual distribution. So you can actually upload your APK package or IPA in the case of iOS. So you can upload it right from here. So if you're working with a third-party application and they provide you with that output, you can push it here and have it distributed to your users. Is your question more about the crash and analytics parts, or this is what you were looking for?
Sure, I mean, you'd still be able to use those too as long as you hook the libraries.
Yes, you will need to hook the libraries and add the SDKs and add your, what's most important is the app's secret. So to make sure we're sending it to this application. So that would be the most important thing for crashes and analytics. Thank you. Any more questions? Okay. Well, thank you really very much for joining, and hopefully we can hear from you on the evaluation. And as I said, we'll be at the booth until Thursday afternoon. So if you have any questions, come by and let us know. Hopefully you'll give it a try and give us feedback immediately. But looking forward to hear any of your feedback. Thank you.